Welcome to Carter's Country Club. This is episode 3. Is it the Spark of Creation? Part 4. And my name is Ann Taylor Lashbrook-Wright, and it is 2026. So hopefully you are caught up at this point. You know that I took a little hiatus, but I am here, I am back, and I talked over this part of the musical that I have been sharing. So I want to let you listen a little bit further, and I'm just going to sit here quietly and listen along with you. And so we can get caught up, we can get back connected so that we can move forward in taking right action and, hopefully coming together. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's 2026. The world is pretty crazy. I don't know if there's really time to be chatting about musicals, right? I think we're here for a bigger purpose. But let's get grounded, let's get connected for why we're here to go beyond.
Another wonderful word.
What is?
Beyond.
Eve, we have enough words already. We have more than we need. Now, come on, I need your help.
What with?
Finishing the bug list.
Oh.
I want to see what to follow this evening. Centipede, cicada, cockroach.
Beyond, beyond. It sounds full of wind and mist, doesn't it? It means other things exist, doesn't it? Beyond, beyond. It says, Adam, leave your list, doesn't it? Mother, why does my head feel this joy and this dread since the moment I said beyond?
We're going to keep going.
I've got an itching on the tips of my fingers. I've got a boiling on the back of my brain. I've got a hunger burning inside me, cannot be denied. I've got a feeling that the Father who made us, when he was kindling the pulse in my veins, he left a tiny spark of that fire smoldering inside. The spark of creation is flickering within me. The spark of creation is blazing in my blood. A bit of the fire that lit up the stars and breathed life into the mud. The first inspiration, the spark of creation.
Okay, okay. So you're here, you've already seen the t shirt from 2021, and you already know that the answer is not asking the dogs to go arrest people. You know that it's up to us to take some action. Okay, so as I have shared before, these videos, what I am sharing here, everything with Carter's Country Club is yes, I want to do my best to support us in raising our children and all of us raising up and doing what is right. But this content's not for children. Even if I share images from children, from Children of Eden or of other children, I am here speaking to you, the adult, that like Paul Check asks us to do. Wake up, clean up, grow up, and show up. So that is why I'm here. Not because I'm a Harry Potter fan, not because I know a whole lot about Booker T. Washington, but I know that we have got to read. I know that we have got to take action. And so I am here to hopefully inspire you to do the same. On Monday, I'm going to speak with Hondo and Jake more about one of my favorite books, which I've already talked to you about it. If you are listening here, if you've already gone through my content, then you know. Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling on. I'm going to do my best to move forward. In 2005, my son did his first play. He adored that entire process. He has done many dance productions, many ballets, but he had never got to do a play. And I wanted to put this picture here to just remind me that I don't want the arts to die. I don't think they need to. I know they've been co opted and stolen from us, but I do believe that, not believe, I know that we are creators and we are here to create. And so I'm going to do my best to keep inspiring us to do that. How do you say to your child in the night, nothing is black, but then there's nothing, but then nothing's all white? How do you say it will all be all right when you know that it might not be true? Sondheim has given us much to think about in the song Children Will Listen. And if you've never heard that song, you should. And if you know that song, then you know what I'm saying, right? They are listening to us. These children, they may not be the ones that are studying with me. They are children that took part in a play with Carter. As I have shared before, this is the constellation of Aries, and we are about to enter Aries, right? We've got a few weeks. We are approaching that season in the sun. This is Carter when he was 4 years old on a BMX track in Colorado. This is a quote from Alvin Ailey. To be who you are and become what you are capable of is the only goal worth living. And I listened to a podcast this week with one of Ailey's students, and I hope that someday, I don't know, my husband doesn't want to be in cities. I don't know that we'll get to take Carter to New York to, maybe get to go study at the Ailey School. I don't want to like live there or whatever, but it would be cool to go for a summer program. Maybe it's just me because I love Horton technique. But like I said, I want to keep moving forward because my son has gotten to live a very different life, racing BMX when he was 4 years old. And, now like studying ballet and thinking about all of these things, I know that that's not what most people are going through, right? So I am willing to take action. Are you willing to take action? I made different choices, and I'm going to talk about this again because, maybe you're new. Maybe for some reason you're listening to this today and you haven't been familiar with my other work, right? But maybe you don't know that my son toddled around in the Red River Gorge. That is Black Bear on his back. You can hear the water. I know he's gotten to live a different life. And my dad got him those shoes. I can't remember why. Maybe he didn't have some other shoes with him. I'm not a big fan of anything other than soft soled shoes on children his age. He was two there. He's so excited about the little whistle on his backpack. It sounds like a bird. But I've talked about this often. Is that Carter? It took him a long time to ride a bike. Now maybe it doesn't seem like that because he pedaled a two-wheel bicycle before he was 3 years old. But
It's hard work.
we spent literally years at skate parks, hours and hours a day. Because we were in the city a lot of the time. We weren't always out climbing in the Red River Gorge. We did get to spend 2019 out there, but I've spent a lot of my life in cities, or what Justin would call shitties, and so that's in Louisville, Kentucky, as I have shared before. And so my mom had gotten this little scooter thing for Carter, and he already had balance bikes at that age. He already had other things, but he was so cautious. And I wanted him to have access to everything, right? And I think that that's how many of us feel. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I'm not sure who said that. I can't even remember. But Carter's early days of toddling around would lead him to be a very strong, capable child. And so I think Carter, I'd say he's probably about 7, maybe, in this video. And, carrying his own pack, which, I think maybe that doesn't seem that big of a deal to you. But I work with children every day that are so exhausted from going to government schools that they just lay down in the floor, right? And some of them, are going to private schools, and some of them are homeschooled, and some of them, I work with very small children. So some of them, you know, um, are home with their mom or at daycare or with their dad or something else. But I see children that are really exhausted. I see children that are not capable of doing the Manitou incline when they are not quite 4 years old. But that's what Carter did. And I chose the lyrics to share here in this presentation from Rogers and Hammerstein's, or Hammerstein, however you say it, from the musical that you probably know, The Sound of Music, right? That's much more familiar to people than Children of Eden. And the song is Climb Every Mountain. And as I've shared before, in Children of Eden, the line about I see a mountain and I want to climb it spoke to my teenage self, right? And so, yes, you'll see Justin there holding Carter's hands as the steps got bigger and bigger. But I work with children every day that's parents have held their hands on stairs in their house, on a couple of steps. I don't believe in holding children's hands on stairs. I think they can crawl. I think they can scoot on their bottom. I think you can be right with them and develop their physical strength. So, it's all of that. And as I shared in episode 3, as I was coming back here and kind of reconnecting with you, Carter is really not wanting to practice, right? And maybe that's maybe, right? I will always take ownership. Maybe that's myself, right? I have not wanted to be here in front of a computer. I have not, and I haven't been doing my practice either. So I will take ownership of that. And that's why I'm here, and my intention, and why I'm sharing this work online in hopes that we can come together and do something physical. And musicals speak to me. And maybe they speak to you, maybe they don't. I love an orchestra. I got to see Swan Lake last weekend, and that's a ballet, but I got to hear the orchestra. And I don't want us to lose real music. Maybe you like dubstep, you know? Maybe, you're like Hondo and Jake and I, and you like some conscious hip hop. But my son and I love musicals. We love the orchestra. I understand, maybe more now than I ever have, what Siegfried Follies and what the beginnings of musical theater, where it comes from, and, the abuse and the what how much occulted knowledge was hidden there, right? And the agenda, right? The agenda even in The Sound of Music. But we've got to move past that, because our children, yes, they deserve to be out in nature. That's where my son and my husband are right now, and I'm sitting here in front of the screen. But I'm hoping to inspire you to step away from your screen. I wasn't afraid for him to walk around. And
Hey,
children
Carter.
like, My beautiful
Is
baby.
it cold?
Are right now some little dude like him is being hurt somewhere. And maybe you don't want to hear that. Maybe you want to just look at a beautiful place, right? Maybe you want to just look at a beautiful baby. But somebody is doing something terrible to a child just like him, right? Some little dude is not getting to walk around and make a motor sound with his mouth and play with a friend's balance bike. You know, he had a different life. He has a different life. And it's different in a lot of ways, right? When I created this presentation, I had just finished reading Apollo's Angels. There's so much that is hidden. So much occult wisdom is hidden within the ballet, and I don't want it to die. And I know that maybe you think it doesn't matter, but I think it all matters. I think the arts do matter, and I think it's all worth saving. And not in the way that they're doing it, right? I've shared this video many times of my son and the party boys. I wasn't on Instagram to watch that video. A good friend of mine screen recorded it and sent it to me. And I've talked about this at nauseum, so maybe you haven't heard it, but I'm going to keep talking about it. Do you know your dance history? Do you know what was done to children? Do you know? Do you get it? And that doesn't it's not what everybody thinks, right? Just like everybody right now, at least my experience, I'm not in social media, but I have people calling me and talking to me and mentioning Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think this is the beginning? Are you that clueless? Do you think that it didn't go back? I've talked about them before. Are you aware of the little rats in Paris, right? Rudolf Nureyev exemplifying, the French style at the Paris Opera. So beautiful. I've shared this before that my son saw that image of Nureyev and he thought, "Oh my gosh, I want to have suspenders." He loves suspenders, but he also, just like anybody. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you could not think he was beautiful. But the distortion of gender and sexuality is so prevalent right now, right? And I don't think we're welcoming boys to ballet by, glorifying gender neutrality, right? I've shared this before. I keep sharing it that I, identify as a tomboy, that I have so many people in my life that are, yeah, I do. I have very, very good friends that are lesbians, many of them, not just you if you're listening. There's quite a few of you. And like I've said before, and maybe I haven't talked about it enough, but I went through my own journey in sexuality, and I really am glad that I got to go through that journey. I wouldn't want it taken away from me by being given bioidentical hormones, okay? I don't want to take pig hormones. I don't think that should be done to us. It shouldn't be done to pigs. We shouldn't be doing those things, right? Of course, consenting adults can do whatever they want sexually. I sure did, for sure. But not with children. Okay. So I'm going to leave it here for this episode. And please leave me comments. I want to keep talking about gender, but I know that I have to keep these episodes somewhat short so that the format makes it easy for me to post and share. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.